So I believe one of the biggest reasons why we quit budgeting is because of our inability to stick to it. So in this video, I'm going to provide 3 tips to help us stick to our budgets. You just got to get started. When it comes to the word budget, it can have a very negative connotation in many people's minds. And for me personally, that's not the case. My budget has played a very key role in me being able to consistently chip away at my debt over the past 8 months. I've learned a lot. So hopefully these 3 tips will help you as well. All right. So tip number 1 is understanding that budgeting is not a set it and forget it activity. So a common mistake that I've made in the past, and I know others have made, is that we create a beautiful budget, whether it be handwritten, using a spreadsheet, or in an app, and then we never look at the budget. Now, it would be really nice if we could program the budget into our debit and credit cards. That way, we can only make transactions that align with our budget. However, I don't think that is available quite yet. Instead, you need to actively engage with your budget by tracking your spending and ensuring that you're staying within your budget. So to help you do that, there's apps out there that will help you by automatically pulling your transactions and then you just making sure that it's going against the right budget categories. And then there's also apps that still allow you to input your transactions manually. Either way, whether you track it automatically or manually, you're going to be in a better position to stick to your budget because you're going to be more aware of where you're at with each of your budget categories to ensure that you're sticking to it. Now, this definitely takes work, but it's worth it. Tip 2, a budget is meant to be flexible. The goal of a budget is to help you put together a plan for the spending of your money. And a budget should also help you prioritize where you should spend your money. There's certain items like maybe rent or utilities or a cell phone that you may want to prioritize within your budget to ensure that you have enough money to pay those things. And then there may be other items that you budget for, but maybe a lower priority, like potentially eating out or clothing. But like all plans, sometimes things or priorities change, and that's okay. Because I know another common reason why we quit budgeting is the fact that we keep going over in certain budget categories. The most common one I hear is groceries or eating out, where we budget a certain amount, but every time we go over that budget, which throws off our entire budget. However, when you come at budgeting with the mindset that it is meant to be flexible, then you can just shift around some of your other priorities to cover that overspending. Since I'm on this whole debt free journey kick, I would advise trying to do whatever possible to not add to your debt. So if you do go over on a particular category, realize that it is flexible and then look at all your other categories to see where you can cover that overspending with. And I know this shift in mindset has really been helpful for me. As you can see over here, I use YNAB and I'm often going over on my budget. I just did a video around how to do a budget template. And I think the same day that I put it out, I went over on certain budget categories and I was forced to pull from other categories to cover that overspending. But as a whole, I've been able to stay within my budget. So again, this requires a bit of being proactive on your part because once you go over on a particular budget category, then you need to go check to see where there may be some extra money or fluff in your other categories. But again, once you're able to get this process down, it's going to be worth it. Tip 3, be patient and consistent. If you're new to budgeting, just realize that it can take up to 3 months for you to really start getting the hang of it. As with the number of things that we want to become good at, we need to be patient and consistent when it comes to budgeting. And just keep in mind not to give up before you actually see the benefits. Since I like to work out, I often refer back to working out, but the people that say, man, I worked out every day last week and I don't see any results. Typically, if you were to not just focus on 1 week and focus on 3 months, then you'll be able to see the results, and then those results will help to motivate you to continue to want to do that particular activity. Ultimately, the purpose of a budget is to help you get you towards your own personal financial goals. So if each paycheck you go ahead and you budget out each and every single dollar where you plan to budget, and then you follow tip 1 and be proactive looking at the transactions, looking to make sure that you stay within your budget. And then if not, you happen to go over on a particular budget category, you look at tip number 2 and you just remain flexible and see where you can pull the extra money from in another category. And you rinse and repeat. And then over time, you'll be able to better understand what to budget for in each and every particular category. It'll get easier. And then you can kind of adjust the budget to fit whatever makes it easiest for you. All right, so that's it. Those are the 3 tips that I have for you today. Hopefully they were helpful. I know for me personally, if I would have followed these 3 tips years ago, I'd be a lot further along in my budgeting process and probably in a better position financially. If you like the video, please remember to like the video. It definitely helps me out a lot. And if you're interested in following me on my debt-free journey and learning about what I'm learning about as I pay off over 50,000 just under $50,000 in debt, then definitely hit that subscribe button as well. Until next time.